Okay, diggers. Some of you may know that I've gotten into coin roll hunting. A lot of the guys on the YouTube forums are into coin roll hunting, and I mostly do pennies. I look for arrow coins, wheat leaf pennies, King George pennies from Canada, which are, to me, they're the equivalent of the wheat penny here in America. That's about it. I have sorted some nickels with a little bit of success. I've gotten a couple of silvers out of like $100 or $200 bag. I got, a couple from coin roll hunting. So 3 or 4 silver nickels, war nickels they're called. I've done some halves and gotten, I think 4 Kennedy halves that are, I think they're 65% silver. I'm not really sure on that figure, but tonight I want to show you, I've graduated to this machine here, and it's called the Rydell sorter. And what it does is you pour your pennies in this hopper right here, and you switch it on right there, and that little plate in there starts to spin, and that bar keeps them so that they continue to fall in each slot flat, and they come down through this mechanism right here, and they're ejected out, slide down this tray and through the coin mech. Now if you can see in the coin mech, there's a penny in there. Sorry, it's not focusing. There we go. And that is a copper penny in there prior to 1982. Pennies were made with, I believe it's 98% copper. I'm not sure on that figure either. But come on, camera, focus. Anyway. What this does, basically, this coin mech acts similar to a metal detector. It looks at the penny, compares it to the one that's in this slot right here and held in place, and if it matches the copper content, it ejects it down from the bottom down into the barrel on the left here. If it's a zinc penny, it will shoot it out over here to the right. And it's about 99%. You do have to take and go through your zinc pennies, so I suggest doing about $5 to $10 at a time and sifting through them, because one, let's see, a week ago or so I got a steel wheat leaf penny that of course was rejected as copper and thrown into this bin. I found that in there. You find dimes in there. When people throw them into the machine, the dimes sometimes go in with the pennies, and I found as much as $1, 20, 30, 40 cents in there. Worth of dimes. So you do have to go through there. Once in a while you'll find a copper, but not very often. It's pretty good. So that's why I say you do a limited amount, sort through them, put them in something like this so you can return it back to the machines at your local bank. And if you look over there, you can see a big one over there. And that's what I do. With my coin roll hunting. I've gotten a little more serious about keeping my copper pennies. I just want to hang on to them until the government decides that they want to make it legal to melt them down. I think pretty soon we're going to be like Canada. Canada has eliminated their pennies from their monetary system, and so I believe that's heading that way here in the United States, and as soon as it happens, there's a good possibility that they'll take that ban off and allow people to melt them down. And what I do is I just put them into these kitty litter containers until, they're, I can't fill them all the way, or there's just no way you'd be able to lift it, about halfway full. And, it's 50, 60 pounds. And then I just take them and put them aside, put them somewhere, and forget about them. That's it. Here's the bag that they come in from the bank. It's a $50 bag. And this sorter will go through that bag in about 10 minutes, depending on how fast I feed them in there and if I get a clog or not. Every once in a while you'll get a clog, but if you oil the machine first with this dry slide bike aid, it's a particular type for this unit, and you really can't use anything else. Funny how that is, but anyway. The last bag I did, as you see here, these ones right here on the end, they're all wheat leaf pennies, and I believe it was like 23 or 24 of them. You see a couple King George pennies right there. I got those in there, and I got, I think it was 3 or 4 of those dimes were in that the last bag I did. So that was a really good bag. I averaged between 10 and 20 on the wheat leaves. And this was like 23, 24, 25, somewhere in there. I don't have the exact figure, but sorry this keeps going out of focus. It's the lighting in here, I think. But so I'm going to do this whole bag and tally up what I come up with. I'll show you the machine in action, and we'll see what we come up with. Sound like fun? Well, it is. I'll get back to you. Okay, diggers. I lubed up the machine. I've thrown some pennies into the hopper, and I'm going to flick it on and we'll see how it goes. Just mixing them around in that plate. That's how fast they shoot out. Comes down into the coin net, and each one is examined compared to that copper penny that's in there, and then drop through the bottom. Here's the result. It's incredible how it does it, but pretty much every bag is about 70% zinc, 30% copper. It's a little bit noisy, so you know, you might want to run it in your basement or somewhere. I've got mine luckily in the dining room, running off the table, just on this plate. It goes on the edge of a table or anything that it can be set on. You can see how fast it's shooting them through there. I'm actually going to grab another handful and put them in there because it's freezing pretty quick. I get some in here and I'll get that. As soon as I opened up the bag, I found a dime right off the get-go and a wheat leaf penny right on top of the bag here before I ever even grabbed a handful to put in the hopper here. So I had a dime and a wheat leaf as I got started. And pretty much I just keep the hopper full. You see how fast it does it. I mean, to sort a bag like this by hand takes hours. I mean, you got to look at each coin by date, and you know, it's tough. Now all I have to do is grab a handful, put them in the hopper, and I'm gonna let this sort about $10 worth, $8 to $10 worth. About that much right there. And like I told you before in the first part of the video, that's because you've got to go through these zincs here and look at them, because one of the main things is the older wheat leaf pennies from like 1930, you know, prior to 1940, the consistency in the copper was much different. It was very staggered. I guess that's the only word I can think of. It just wasn't consistent. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And so every once in a while you'll find some of the older copper wheat leaf pennies in here because they won't register as a full-fledged copper penny. So you really got to look through them, sort through them a little bit. You don't have to take them all out and go one by one. I mean, you could, but that's why I do a minimal amount. I just then I just pick up the bucket, move them around, look at them, you know, and I found a lot. So, but they are very different looking than the regular zinc pennies, so that is one thing in your favor. So, with that, I'm going to let this thing keep sorting, and when I get about halfway through, I'll give you an update. See the hopper. You can tell it's getting near the end. It slows way down like that. But it'll pretty much clean them out. So when I get about halfway through, I'll come back and give you a report where we're at. Okay, diggers, here's the wrap up. Sorry I didn't get into something like midstream, but Anyway, here's the wrap-up of this past bag that I've done. You see this stack here on the right, that's all 1950s. Here in the middle is 1940s, and there's 1930. I did get my King George penny, and only one dime this time. But this was an interesting bag, and I'm going to tell you why. If you remember earlier, I told you that you gotta sort through the zinc pennies because of the inconsistency in the copper in some of these wheat pennies. And, well, let me show you why. First of all, very nice, well, worn, but nice, 1927D. I found that one in the zinc pennies. Secondly, this one in rough shape, very rough shape, but it's a 1937. It's a pretty common date. It's like the 44. It's the 1944 of the 30s, 1937. I've got a lot of those. But that was him with the zincs. And then the find of finds was this guy. Let me get him over here in the light where you can see it a little better. Come on, focus. Now, of course, it doesn't want to focus now. Oh, there we go. It's a sixpence, King George. It's a 1942. Let me flip it over. And maybe right there you can just make out the 42 right there on the right hand side. And of course then it goes out of focus. There we go. 1942 sixpence in the zinc pennies. So this and this one were pretty close together. And then I found this one. That was all on my last feed. I did like 3 different feeds. I split it up into 3 different sections, and the first 2 I didn't find anything. No wheat pennies, nothing. But that doesn't discourage me in looking through, because I've found things like this before, and especially your foreign coins, steel coins. I don't know if this is silver or not, this 42. I know they made these in silver, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure exactly what date they began silver. That might be a silver. And if it is, I'll get back to you. But a really awesome find either way. I love finding the foreign coins in here. I ended up with, I believe it's 23 total wheat pennies. 1 King George penny regular. What was it? Let's see if I can see the date. It's 43. 1943. And 1 dime. And that's about it. So again, if I can encourage you, when you do your coin sorting, if you use one of these coin sorters, automatic coin sorter like the Rydell, please make sure you look through your zinc pennies, because it looks like a bunch of junk, but not always. I'm so glad to be able to make another video for you. It's cold outside. I'm really chomping at the bit. Would really love to be out there digging. I got my new shovel, the Piranha, and anxious to give that a try. I've been studying the Mine Lab just for different settings and whatnot, and you know, we're in the middle of winter right now, so coin roll hunting is about the next best thing. It's treasure hunting. Gotta love it, as my friend Axel says. Alright, Axel, if you actually think about upgrading to a coin sorter, I've got the one that I used before my Rydell, and that's that one right over there. It's a hand feeder, but it definitely sorts them faster than trying to do it by hand. If you're interested in that, or if anybody's interested in that, send me an inbox and I'll shoot you out a price. I definitely will guarantee it's cheaper. It will be cheaper than the one you can buy on eBay, which is what it is. And I will sell it to you cheaper. I probably ran about $100 through it. So it's practically brand new. And let me know what you think. It's that deal, that box, that white box there with the coin mech on there. And you can see my pennies getting ready to go back to the bank. Alright folks, thanks for watching in this cold wintertime day. We'll get back to you soon, hopefully with something else. God bless. Okay diggers, after doing some checking on this Great Britain coin, it's a sixpence. I have indeed found out it is a silver coin. Found in my penny bag. In this condition, I'm going to say somewhere between $10 to a $15 coin. I've seen them on eBay, lesser grade, starting out at $8. I saw another one similar to this one, probably not quite as good of a grade, starting out at $9.99. So that's what gives me the guesstimate of somewhere between $8 and $15. This one is going to be minimum $10 coin found in a bag of pennies. Once it went through the sorter, of course the sorter discriminated against it and sent it over into the zinc bin. And I can't tell you again, you that use the sorting machines, you've got to sort through those zinc pennies. And it was pretty crusty. I've cleaned it up, and all I did was use some baking soda. And I know, don't clean your coin. Probably not worth as much. Oh well. It's a silver coin. I probably won't get rid of it anyway. I'll just keep it in with my little stack of silver that I have. But it's a beautiful coin too. Let me flip it over. I don't know how much of the detail you can see. This light that I have doesn't want to cooperate with me too much. The glare is, if I put it up like that, maybe we can get a little better. I'm going to flip it around here the right way so it's showing the date. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom in on it a little bit. And if it focuses, well, maybe right about there. It's about the best I'm going to get. 1942. Look it up on eBay and you'll see the coin if you want to see it closer. It's a gorgeous coin. King George on the front. And it's a British coin. They also have them in Australia and some other places, New Zealand. And they don't seem to be worth as much. But this one is sort of like the penny that you see here. It's the same King George bust on the front. If I can pick it up. Almost identical to the copper. Look at that. I wish it would focus better. There we go. I'm sorry for taking up all this time. I'm pretty excited about finding a silver coin in with my pennies. By the way, here's my coppers. I did really good on the coppers in this. You know, I'm going to say this time closer to 35 to 38% copper pennies. 23 coppers so far. That's just with kind of swishing through them, not really checking them all. Of course, I'll check all of these one by one because there are error dates and other things like that. And you know, generally when I do that after a full bag, I'll find like anywhere between 1 to 3 or 4 more wheat pennies in there hiding out. And you know they are, because basically all I did was, you know, go like that and look through them. And boy, there were just so many this time in the last bag that they were pretty easy to find. But yeah, I'm thinking there's still a couple more. So I'm probably going to end up with, out of this bag, 25 wheat pennies or better. a silver coin, $10 silver coin minimum, I think. I wouldn't let it go for that anyway. And my 1 dime. Look through those zinc pennies, fellows. You won't be disappointed. All right, happy hunting, everybody. Get into that coin roll hunting if you're not in those southern states, and have some fun stuff to do like this. All right, I'll talk to you later.